Hi. I just wanted to pop on here and go over another parenting tool. So today I want to talk about time in versus time out. A really popular parenting tool right now is time out. Like when a child misbehaves or they get dysregulated, then we send them to the corner or to their room and they do time out. And we call it that, like time out. And here's the problem with kids from hard places who've already been discarded, neglected, and abused. Time out is just another form of that. It's just reinforcing their belief that, you know what, you don't matter, you're not valuable. I'm going to separate you from us right now. And that doesn't help them at all. What they need instead is they need time in. And what I mean by that is when a child is dysregulated or misbehaving, what they need to do is be close to you. And what's really amazing is I didn't know what this was called when my children were little and they had first come home to me, but I was doing it, and that was only God. That was God through the Holy Spirit instructing me to do time in. And I'll just give you an example. My youngest daughter, she would get very dysregulated very quickly, which means in simple terms, she would fall on the floor, be flailing, kicking. At the dinner table, she would just slide off her chair and be on the floor having a meltdown. And what I did instead of sending her to her room was I would have her do what I will call beside me jobs. And not when she was dysregulated, but she would be beside me like 2 or 3 feet away, sitting on a chair until she could regulate, until we could talk about what happened. And often she would slide off that chair and I would have her get back on that chair beside me, and I was right there. So what that happens is when you're doing time in, you are co-regulating for that child. You're essentially saying, I'm still here for you. We're in this together. I'm going to sit here with you until you are able to calm down. And then when they're able to calm down, then you can have that conversation. And that conversation needs to be quick, to the point, and move on. Kids cannot handle long sermons. They can't, what your aunt would think about this, or your grandma, or your whatever. No, they just, to the point, here's what happened. Do you know what you did? If they don't, just tell them, say, we don't behave that way. We stay on our chair at the dinner table, whatever it is. And then you move on. But that time in is so important because you're looking for connection. That's what we're trying to do with these kids. We're trying to connect with them. And we connect with them by co-regulating in that instance. And I have had experience with time out also. I did try that, especially with one of mine. And what happened was he would go to his room and become violent because he didn't have anyone to help him regulate. And so these kids need us to regulate with them. They need us to co-regulate because oftentimes kids that come to us through foster care or adoption, or like mine from an orphanage where they had never had anyone co-regulate with them. They didn't have anyone regulate. They didn't have anyone co-regulate. So they need that, and they need you as the parent to be that. So take your toolbox, open it, take out time out, and put in time in. And it's very simple to do. All you do is when a child is having a meltdown or misbehaving, instead of sending them away, keep them near you. Keep them near enough to you, like, that you're not hurt if they're flailing around, but near enough to you that you can keep calming them, speaking to them if they need it. If they don't need it, just let them work through it, but close to you. And then when they have calmed themselves, and often I would ask my child, are you ready? And they would say no, and that's okay. Just wait a little bit longer. Are you ready to talk? No. Okay. I'll wait a little bit longer. And when they are calm, then you can have that conversation. So that is very simple. Time in is very simple. All it means is instead of sending them away, keep them near you. Don't send them to their room. Don't send them outside unless you've already calmed them down and they need to work off their energy. But time in is keeping them near you, and it works. And what's amazing is I said I did those beside me jobs. Yeah, it still works with teenagers. You're right. Because I just remember not too long ago an incident with a teen. It's probably been been a while ago. But anyway, and he was dysregulated, and he went downstairs in the family room and was getting more dysregulated. And I couldn't really talk to him at that moment. And I couldn't get him to come upstairs to me. So I went downstairs to the family room, and my treadmill's down there. So I just started walking on my treadmill. So I was literally about, 5 or 6 feet from him, and he was sitting on the sectional, and he began to calm. And the whole time he just started talking to me like, oh my gosh, that's stupid, or blah, blah, blah. And that's okay. Don't freak out if your kid says stuff like that. Let them try to process it. Let them try to verbally work out instead of saying, don't say stupid. Or you know what I mean? Because we parents are like, oh my gosh, you can't say those words or this words, or you can't speak your mind. It's okay. Let them process it and work through it. So that's kind of how teenagers work through it. And yes, they're going to say the word stupid about 50 times in 60 seconds. And they might even say things like, I hate you. Why did you do this to me? Or like one of my kids used to say all the time, why'd you adopt me? Why don't you just send me back right now? Like they're just angry, and that's their way of processing it. And that's a whole nother life, because that's about giving them voice, not giving them voice to say whatever they want, but help them process those things. So time in, I was beginning when Lori said that, I was going to talk about beside me jobs. Beside me jobs are just, whenever it doesn't have to be when a child's dysregulated or after they're dysregulated, is just them doing things beside you, whether it's you're unloading the dishwasher and they start talking to you and they start unloading the dishwasher, and you might unload 50 plates and they unload one, but that's okay. They're beside you, you're regulating them, they're talking to you. That whole idea of kids need to go be in another room while you're doing stuff, that's just a fallacy. That doesn't help them connect. They need to be near you. They need to be doing things with you. They need to be beside you so that you can help them co-regulate, so that they can talk through things. And as one of my kids when she was 4 years old, she would just talk. And a lot of it was nonsense then, but now that she is an adult, she is very good at processing what she's thinking and feeling and verbalizing that. So that's just one of those wonderful benefits of co-regulating and being beside you in time in. So I'm just going to wrap this up. So if you have any questions about time in, or any comments about time in, or any other parenting tools, just put them in the comments here and I'll look at them later. Getting ready to go on a bike ride with my husband. Oh, and I'm wearing, let's see if you can see, I'm wearing my Soar Squad shirt that I just got at Jessica's studio yesterday. So thanks for joining me, and make sure you make a comment if you want to hear about something. Bye.